you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a very special guest.
Lynn Houston.
Welcome.
Thank you. Really grateful to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited I love talking to people. Like I love talking about the journey. I just think it's so exciting. But I always also think it's great to go back to the beginning. I always say the beginning charts our trajectory in life, and our little habits that we pick up along the way follow us into our adulthood. Tell me, what was your childhood like, and when did you kind of start falling in love with music, and where did that come from?
Well, I come from a little town in Missouri, as they say, and I had four sisters and mother and father, and so there were six women and my father in that house, and my mother loved music, and so she played Diana Washington, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, and so wherever we always heard of her, this very gorgeous classic, well, not classical, but really groovy music. But I didn't become a musician then, but it was something that always sort of soothed my soul. I grew up being told I was loved every day. I was clothed. I was given lessons. I went to high school. Ultimately, I fell in love with a woman. This was in the early 70s. And at that time, that was considered a mental illness. And not because my parents didn't love me, but because they did not understand. So anyway, I had to run away. So I left home, did a lot of things, got into trouble. One day I did get in big trouble and had to go to the court. But because I knew how to handle the judge, because of how I'd grown up, I got off. I got off and I didn't have to pay anything. Now, I think this is an iconic lesson in my personal life that brought me to where I am today. A young woman followed me up after I was told something, and she came up, and what I was white. It was southern part of the country. I was white. She came up a little younger than me with a baby in her arms, had nothing on but a plastic diaper. Oh. And the young woman maybe was 18. She had a pair of shorts on, cut off jean shorts, and a t-shirt. And the judge says to her, "I see you stole the bra at blah, blah, blah." And he says, "What say you?" And she says, "Judge, I did." I said, "But I didn't have any money. I had a job interview. I didn't have a bra. I could see I got a baby." And I mean this, and so he, being the South, being who he was, a white judge, slammed the thing, said, "Guilty, $50 fine, and it goes on your record." That moment, no. I'm telling you, that moment, I could feel my entire physical experience on planet Earth explode, going, "Oh my God." Now, to this day, I regret that I didn't go back to that judge. And I was young and I was scared, but I regret I didn't go back to that judge and says, "Judge, no, do me. I did it. I did it. Here's $50. I didn't do it because I was young and I didn't know." Fast forward through life, I became an actor. I did a one-woman show from Florida to California.
Nice.
Ended up in California, realized that's where I needed to stay. Decided that I wanted to be a photographer. I worked with Shelley Duvall in Fairy Tale Theater and Bridget Terry. Worked with Mick Jagger and Liza Minnelli and Francis Coppola and Tim Burton. I had all this beautiful opportunity the universe given me, and I was still a photographer. Then my partner and I at the time, we flew to Africa and spent 3 weeks there, and I was flying around in little planes, and I decided, I'm going to do that now. So
I love it. I came back.
I had a lucrative Lynn Houston studio, and I said, no, I'm not doing it. So I went to a place in Santa Monica that had a national flight school. I became an intern there at 36, worked my way up to chief pilot, Then from chief pilot, I went to cargo. From cargo, I went to the airlines. And in 2006, I retired as an airline captain. From that
Amazing.
point, a different point of view, I knew, because I remember that young moment. I remember that young moment. I said, it's time for me to do something. So I went to Antioch University and got my BA at 57. And you had to do some kind of thing. And so Horace Mann, the founder of Antioch, has a quote that says, be afraid to die until you've done something for humanity.
Mm.
And I thought, yes, Lynn. Yes, Lynn. And so I just started a different point of view, did marketing, went and got my MBA. And then after that, I knew I still had to be in the fight. I had to be in the fight, but I couldn't be in the trenches. So I thought, what can I do? And I realized I could do music. So I got a guitar. I started to teach myself how to play a guitar. I took a couple lessons. I'd had piano lessons, a million years ago, but I hated them because, when you're 10, who wants piano?
Right.
So I taught myself that. I was living in Santa Barbara, California. I'd go to Soho for the
Soho
singer
House,
thing,
nice,
right? And I'd stand up
nice.
there with my little guitar, and I had songs, and I had 4 chords I knew how to play, and I'd start playing them. And they were all social justice songs. So that's who I am. I'm a social justice junkie, really. The rest of my life is dedicated to making the world a better place and taking people's hands and rising them up at all possible. That's what Leader in the Crowd is really about.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, and I love that you're still on this journey of, which takes a lot of courage, honestly. I don't think just anyone can do those things, where do you think that comes from? That innate, like, I want to do this, and you execute, you do.
I think that comes from twofold. Growing up being told you were loved and you could do anything.
Yeah.
Loved and you could do anything. Loved and you could do anything. Also because I had to be a runaway, because I knew what it was like to be an outsider and an outlier. I learned so much about that. I learned so much about some people don't want people like me over here. And then I had experience of my friends that weren't like me, and they had their own traumas. If you're Black, if you're Asian, if you're Latina, whatever. Everybody's got traumas. Some's got more than others. But for me, it was like I knew I wanted to live like we were talking earlier. You want as much out of life as you can get. I love life. I love humanity. We're pretty messed up right now, but that's what it's about. It's like believing that you can, and even when you fall down, just get up. And if you can't get up, call someone to say, hey, help me get up. I get to keep going. And you find allies, and you look deep in yourself. Every morning you got to tell yourself in that mirror, I love you. You're enough. Right? Because if you don't, who the heck is?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's real. Wow. Wow. I love that. Such an amazing life, and still doing it. So exciting. Let's get to the music.
Good.
They're like, this is what we're here for. But Leader in the Crowd, right? Now, my question to you, this song and the process of making it, where did it come from? What's inspired it? Why now? Like, tell me all that.
All right, I'll tell you all that. It was one of the first songs I ever wrote.
Wow.
I wrote this in 2017. Because remember, if you're an outlier, if you're not in it, if you're not in the group of this normalcy and that normalcy or that normalcy, you always sort of you look over there and go, oh, those are, okay, I understand that, or I don't understand that part. Because I knew, after having done the different point of view and trying to encourage these youth that they must become captains of their own lives, that's why I wrote it. But when I wrote it, it was a totally different song. It was 4 little guitar chords. I think it was a D, a B minor, a G, and an A or something. It was like very simple, and it was about it had other words and stuff. But then when I went to Berklee School of Music starting in 23, I believe, out of Boston.
Wow, nice. Nice.
And so I learned about something called the digital workstation, audio workstation, Logic. And these professors there, I can't say enough about Berkeley. Professors there taught me so much. And so then I was able to take the leader in the crowd and my words and take it and make an orchestra out of it. I mean, I could have I created the saxophone. I mean, I didn't samples, or
Yeah,
loops,
yeah.
or I would get on my piano or I would get on my guitar, do something and create it all together. And it's like wonderful. You mix it all together and you go, oh my God, it's a symphony. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, there's so much more, right? And then as the universe has always taken such good care of me, a woman named Lynn Earls out of LA, she's producer and also an engineer and also a songwriter herself, but through Boston, through Berkeley, a woman named Christina Telliar, who was also known as Riot, turned me on to Lynn. And so I started working with Lynn on my first song, The World's on Fire, also known as Hey God. Then for this leader in the crowd, she did that. And so what she does so brilliantly is sort of take my intensity and sort of makes it more,
Like kind of
yeah, I mean, she's
nice.
remarkable. So
Amazing.
anyway, that's how, I can't remember the question, but so that's how we got here. That's how we
I
got there. And
love
you know
it.
what I love, Miosha, is this this one's particularly is because of the world that we're in now, that to me is like, I go from devastated to terrified to, I mean, how do we take people off the streets? All of a sudden, someone's going off the streets. Where's this child in prison in El Salvador? He was in Maryland, or the woman that I mean, what are we doing?
No,
And so I want these people to stand up, rise up, speak your voice out loud, dare to
yeah,
make a difference, be the leader in the crowd. Time is
yeah,
ticking, life's moving fast. Who
yeah.
knows? But today, it just might be your last, right?
It's so
For
true.
what? I mean, you're
It's
walking
so
down.
true. And thank you for doing this kind of like making this music now, because it's so important for young people and just people in general to no matter what age you are, it's never too late to stand up. And I think it's okay to I think this message, and what I felt when I listened to it too, is like you feel like this sense of, I don't know, oh, I have purpose beyond what society says I am. I can get up, I can do something more than what we're told in this confined box that they put us in.
This is your one beautiful life, I mean, no one's
Yeah.
coming to save you. I mean, I wish, we were taught in the church, as you said, that everybody
Yeah.
will whatever, but it depends on what you're looking for, and no one's going to come save you. You got to do it yourself. And then if you have the strength, if you have the courage to speak up, then you got two hands, you fill those with other two human beings and you move them up too. It's time. We all must move up together. I think of higher frequencies, like in music, the certain frequencies we live in. It's like the
Yeah.
higher the frequency, the more ability that we have to, and it's all about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you're worried about where your food's coming from, where your, clothes are coming from, you can't have an insurance and you can't have this or that, you can't possibly think other
Sure.
things. You're just trying to survive, right?
Yeah. Yeah. As far as even the climate of music, and entertainment, I guess this is all kind of in the same boat. Do you feel like, from your perspective, as time goes on, are we even making strides in the music world? Do you feel like there's
Think
like better change as far as like artists are getting they're putting all this
dude,
work out? Yeah. Like, do you feel like it's actually like, I feel like for me, for film and acting, we still got a lot of work to do.
yes.
But we're slowly getting there, slowly. Now, I don't really know what the music world is it different, or do you feel like it's
Well,
like,
I
as
don't
far as
know
like
because,
making
having
music?
not been here except for the last few years, I'm not an expert on it, but I have noticed that. I mean, okay, the Beyoncés, the Taylor Swifts, the Billie Eilishes, all the
Yeah,
Rones, all those people, they work their tush off 24/7. I mean,
yeah,
they have public, they get a public, they have all these people pushing them. They
yeah,
deserve it. Worked hard for it. I admire them tremendously. Alicia
yeah.
Keys, my goodness, she started. What is it? She is the music, and there's another nonprofit called moving the needle to help
Mm,
young women,
I love
do their
that.
thing. But as far as is it, I would say no. I mean, because people can't get paid. There shouldn't be just 10 people getting paid for music, right? There
Wow.
shouldn't be just 10 people being able to make a living, right? So
Wow.
I don't know, but I
Wow.
do appreciate the fact that someone like me, who is not an expert, didn't go to school for 10, 20 years in music or piano or whatever. Someone like me can get into Logic or Pro Tools and the DAW and have an idea of a musical experience and create it and put it out into the
Put it
world.
out. Yeah, you did.
Before that, man, I'd have to have a band. I'd have to have tons of money. So in that way, I think music is rising up
Yeah.
because it gets everybody. I got a kid in prison right now. He's coming out in November, and he wants to do music. He wants to do
Awesome.
music. He'll do music. And it's like I can help
Awesome.
him get on that thing. So I
Yeah.
just think we have to value the the artist more, whether it be you as a filmmaker, as an actor, or as a musician. We need to value everybody more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Respect each other.
Yeah.
You and I could feel we have totally different opinions, but I must respect you because you are a
Mm,
human being walking this planet just like me, and you ain't better, and I ain't better.
mm.
We got our own, we have our own little paths we're going, right? Right now,
Yeah.
this moment, I'm looking at you, and how joyous am I to look at this wonderful young woman
Oh,
who is doing what she does and has a
thank
future, and you're making a big difference. That's what it's like, let's come on, people. I mean, God, anyway, I can't get too depressed because if you look at the world closely,
yeah.
it feels hopeless,
It
it feels
does. It
hopeless, but
does.
we can't go there. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep fighting. We have to
That's
keep
it.
fighting what is right. And that is diversity, equity, inclusion, all people. Just love them. You don't have to be your best friend, but love them anyway. Open that heart of yours. That's what it's there for.
That's
Why
what
do you
it's
think
there
you
for.
came down to planet Earth?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love that. I love that. Well, I listened to the music and I put it on and it almost felt like I was like I don't know, it was like when you were speaking all these like these words of like that like positive words and like things that like I felt like wow, I felt this like I can do it. Like I felt very
Yay!
powerful. I felt
Yay!
very powerful.
Thank
Like you're
you.
like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yes. Good. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I need. I just need some people like you to go, I feel like I could do it. That is my job, is to blow that wind so you could fly.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
it. It's awesome. It's so awesome to meet you.
Me too. And tell me a little bit about like the singer who did the background vocals because
Oh,
I thought it was you at first. I was like, wait, what?
I know, me too. I wish I was. Now I can sing, but I can't sing like a woman named Diana Purim, Purim, who I have to say this because she's known for it. Her mother was Flora Purim, Purim, a different famous Brazilian singer. Anyway, Lynn Earls, who was the mixer and helped me with producing this also leader in the crowd. I said, I hear Diana. I need a backup. I hear her because I sent her all the files. You send them the wave files, and I had the song, but I didn't have the Diana. And
Yeah.
so we hired Diana, and she just blows it out of the water. She's been doing this for 20 years. That woman is like,
Wow.
I don't know why she isn't so famous. I have no idea. Diana Perm. Anyway, so she did it, and I think it's soul filled because of her. Her kind
Wow.
of her voice sort of lifts it up and holds it,
Yeah.
and I come in with the words and she's holding it, and the music, it's hopefully moving it forward and
Yes.
lifting the frequency of the listener, right? So we go to the end, time is ticking, there to make a difference, be the leader in the crowd.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah,
What how
I love working
when
with that.
yeah, no, amazing collaboration that you guys have. Uh, like what's your process like when you do get inspired to like okay, like oh, is it something you watch? Is it maybe like when do you get the idea to like oh, I want to write this down, I want to make music. This is what I want to make or this is what I want to hear. Like what's that like for you?
Well, it sort of depends. It depends. I used to just pick up the guitar and try to slug it out.
I
Now,
love
yeah.
that.
Now, yes. Now, though, like I was watching the news last night and I got upset.
You're like,
You're right, you're right. And then some Canadian geese flew by overhead, and I thought I'm going to write a song about Canadian geese,
I love
and
that.
the world and all that. So sometimes it's the idea of the universe, and I'm going, I gotta write about this. It's upsetting me. But sometimes now I just come into my studio and turn on the MIDI and the music and the logic, and I start looking for a beat. I'll get a
Yeah.
drum beat, or I'll start listening, and I'll get a saxophone, or a percussion, and then I just sort of play around like this. Next song I'm coming out called "Get Up."
Ooh.
Again, it's totally something different. But I took this class at Berkeley from this cool cat named Renato Milani. Renato, I call him Maestro. And so we had to do this, and it's a cool song, and it's a dance song. But then yet under the dance song, I'm still using words to get up, get up, get up. You can do it. You can do it. Time to dance. New life, new romance, new. So
Love that.
everything I do from now on is, I mean, I love songs, but that people do it way better than I can. I'm a protester. My influence was Gil Scott Heron,
Oh
which you
yeah,
may or may
yeah.
not know. Big Nina Simone fan. She made
Oh
me
yeah.
stand up. I mean, that woman. Every time I see her, I go yes. And Leonard Cohen, because I like to speak sometimes instead of sing. And I think his words are Leonard Cohen. I don't know if you know who he was. He just left the planet, but he wrote, well, I think Hallelujah. No, that was Katie Lang, another great influence. Anyway, so those people influence me. And so I come in and I just go, well, let's see. And then I'll create a sound that I go, oh, I could put words there. I could put words here. It's something that upset me today, so I'll make a song about this.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful ability to do whatever the heck you want to do. Pick up a guitar, pick up the piano, get on the DAW, do your things and create. It's a blessing. It's a privilege to create music. Just
I
such a
love that.
privilege.
I love that. And I love that leader in the crowd stands, obviously it's not just doesn't stand out because the message and productions is amazing. And I love the collaboration of just, it's like it's female, it's like women being
Including the
standing in
master.
their power,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Because we are in a male dominated field. And I think I'm curious too, because I think a lot of women kind of are sometimes put in these categories of like, oh, well, you just sit there and look pretty, or like just say that, you can't do any, but I love that women can be powerful and stand in their power and do it even better than men. So thank you for something so
it
strong.
wasn't always a patriarchy, many years
Yeah.
ago it was a matriarchy, but we're maybe one day we'll shift it back, but yeah, anyway, no, it's great. And the person who mastered it was Jet Galinda out of LA too, so it's an all-female song,
Love that. Love
finish,
that.
yeah. And no, it's great. I feel just so honored to be able to make music and for anybody to listen to it and go, yes, that's all I need. I'm not here to be famous. I'm here to make a difference. Sincerely.
Oh, I love that. You just like spoke to my spirit. That is literally what it's all about. I think that is what I've learned out of all the things that I've done in my life. And I've worked with a lot of people, but at the end of the
And you're
day,
amazing. You're amazing.
and thank you. Thank you.
No, it's not PS. It's true.
And I think sometimes at the end of the day, it's like, what else is there? What are we here to do? We have to use our voice to create the world that we want to be in.
That's
Our
right.
little micro influence or whatever we can. That's what it's about. It's not about the red carpet. It's great. It's great. It's a time and a place for everything, but it's like, that's what we're here. This is the journey, and I just
Yes.
admire people that look at life that way. So thank you for that. That really just like made me so excited. I'm like, yes.
Good. I'm so glad. Hey, can I say, I want to, when I did a different point of view, I looked through all the religions, and I knew we needed a philosophy. I knew that when you get lost, you need something to come back to. I
Mm-hmm.
went to church all the time as a Presbyterian. I mean, I wouldn't say anyway, I'm a very spiritual human being right now, and I believe in the God force and all of that. Anyway, the code of instructions for living is what keeps my oar in the water, so to speak, or my rudder in the water. And I want to read it. It's very brief. It's
Please, please.
it's the Lakota instructions for living for the Lakota people, the Lakota nation. It goes this: friend, do it this way. That is, whatever you do in life, do the very best you can with both your heart and mind. And if you do it that way, the universe will come to your assistance if your heart and mind are in unity. When one sits in the hoop of the people, one must be responsible because all of creation is related, and the hurt of one is the hurt of all, and the honor of one is the honor of all. And whatever we do affects everything in the universe. If you do it that way, that is, if you truly join your heart and mind as one, whatever you ask for, that's the way it's going to be. Passed down by White Buffalo Calf Woman. And that has saved me for many, 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 many years, because as long as I keep myself on that path, the hurt is one, the hurt is all, the honor is the all, I'm good. I'm good. So if somebody reaches farther than you, fantastic. If someone falls down, you fall down. You pick that person up. You help that child. You help them. You get them way. We're all. So I know I'm talking to the choir here.
I love it.
You know all that stuff already.
This is
Anyway,
good. It's like music to my ears. This really is. I love asking this question, and I'm curious of your answer actually. Because you've lived such a full like so many. I'm sure you have so many stories, but if you could go on a coffee date with any living legend or dead, who would it be, and what would you ask them on this coffee date?
Well, I have to say, it would be Leonardo da Vinci. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Wow.
And the reason being is, this sounds incredibly arrogant. I don't mean it to be. He is like me. No, I mean, he is like me insofar as he tried a bunch of stuff and he wasn't afraid. He wasn't afraid. If you look at his life, he there was so much he created. There was so much he did that he did this, then he did this, then he did this, then he did this. So I think that person, because I knew I could learn from him. The other person I think would probably be Beethoven.
Oh, it's a good one.
Because his Ninth Symphony is probably another song that saves me a lot. So I know it's weird and obscure, but I
love it.
Those are the two, and it's weird. They're both men because I'm a big fan of women. But yeah, I mean, I honestly probably
they're
Michelle
brilliant
too.
That's a good one.
Mama Rocks, or Alicia Keys,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Michelle was lovely to me. I met her in Florida some years ago, and I didn't realize like how tall she was. I was like, wow, I'm really short. So she was very lovely though.
She's lovely, and she holds herself in such a way that
she does.
Even now, especially now, she's very much her own woman. And
yeah, I love that.
She's not afraid.
I love that. I love that. Do you like the I mean, I don't know if you use it, but like AI, a lot of people hate the AI conversation. They're like, no, I'm not embracing it. It's terrible. But I think there's some pros to it too. I'm
sure there is. I don't use it for music yet, because I don't know how to use it for music, and I'm still training my brain. I'm still training. Yeah. Right. So I'm still training. So I don't want, when I train, I train for, I have to make sure it's this, and this. So I don't want an influence that's going to help me get over something that I need to understand first. Once I understand it, I'll use AI. Now, I do use AI in my personal life. It's like people say, oh, what's your bio? What's your music bio? I don't know. What should I say? And I little things in AI, and I go, oh man, that's sweet. That's nice. I'll take that one. So AI is going to save us and it's going to kill us, depending on what side of the coin you're on. It's my
That's
thought.
true.
But I'm an Aquarian. I love progress. I love change. Love change.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You talked we talked a little bit off air about you said that word and I hear this word and I'm curious, is this something that actually is real? Because I'm kind of a white privilege. Is that an actual thing? When I hear that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. I think anybody could be privileged if you grew up with different circumstances, but yeah, that's the thing. I'm thinking like, what does that even mean? Like, is that negative thing or is that like,
Well, I'm not an expert on anything, except I do know that as a white woman,
yeah.
I was allowed. I mean, when George Floyd was murdered, I
Hmm.
went to the protest in Santa Barbara, and I remember this young woman was in charge. She says, "I want everybody to kneel for the minutes that he had his neck, right, and he died."
Yeah.
And so I was kneeling on the cement, and I had really bad knees at the time. I was kneeling there, and I was sort of going through my own life, going all the things I'd done. People go, "Wow, remarkable and remarkable," and then I go, Now, if I was a black woman,
Mm,
how much resistance would I have gotten? I
I
mean,
see. I see
you
what
know
you're
what I mean?
saying.
How much resistance would I've gotten? I was an airline pilot. Now, there's few women in that gig. It's like the music
Right.
business. There's few, but there's probably even fewer black women. There's not fewer black women in the music business because, well, quite honestly, we won't go there. But talent has something to do with that. Um, but I don't know. I think it's important to acknowledge white privilege. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing as long as you take the privilege that you had as a white woman or a white man and do good things for others with it.
I see
Just
what you're saying.
or you know what I mean? I say, hey, and because I guarantee you, I mean, it's like I have to get real with this, and I think it's important. I think, yes, you could, of course, have Black privilege in some ways. I'm sure every culture has privilege of some
Hmm.
sort. But let's think about this manifest destiny. Look what's happening in our world right now.
Hmm.
The white men are coming back and they're getting rid of everybody who they think is an immigrant, anybody who doesn't look like them, no gays, no trans, no this, no that. You can't protest Gaza because then you're a heinous person. It's like,
Hmm.
what? So I think white privilege is real. And I guess I would just say, yes, if you are white and you have already had privileges, you don't even know, just be aware and help and keep those hands, your white hands, out to help others.
I see what
That's
you're
what I thought.
saying.
Does that make sense?
It makes a
I
lot of
appreciate,
sense.
I'm, you know, you gotta stand up and you gotta open the door for other people. You gotta open
Yeah.
that door. And sometimes you have to kick that door down.
Yeah. No, I thank you for breaking it down. I honestly never I my growing up was I was very much a I was like probably the only one in my Christian private school. I guess considered, black, African American kid. I didn't think anything of it until I got older in public school and, exposed to the different world. I'm like, oh, what's happening out here? This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
different, because I was kind of closed off for so many years. And then I got older and then I started to see, I dated one of my first boyfriends. I mean, he was from Italy, he's
Ah,
Italian. and
Italian,
and so then
Italians.
then and then
Good
I would
taste.
get called Oreo and certain names, and I got in public school. I was like, what does that even mean? To me, it's like not even thought. I didn't think anything of it.
Oh, of
But
course.
but then as time goes on, you're like, oh, okay, is this actually a thing? Like, because it's not even a thing to me. I don't think twice of it. My family grew up was like, hey, as long as you're happy and as a
That's
person's a
beautiful. Yeah.
good person,
So, yes,
we're happy
exactly.
for you. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, I think to me, I think it's so silly, like that we still are hung up on
Oh,
race
it's
to
just
this day.
ridiculous.
It's like,
It's sad. It's
can we
beyond
get
ridiculous.
over it?
It's like it's like, what is it? I don't know when it started or why it started. It wasn't always this way. If you look at children, they don't give a heck. They don't, I mean, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. They're just so clean. We
Yeah.
start to put each other in cubby holes. In my opinion, it's also like the music industry. What genre are you? What do you mean, what genre? I just made this
Yeah.
song. You tell me. I don't know. Is it hip hop? Is it jazz? Is it R&B? It's certainly not adult contemporary. It's
Yeah.
like Beyonce argues that all the time. What are you putting me in this box for? And I think it's because if you can't have an open mind, you can't think past that thought, you know.
Yeah.
If you protest this, or you're there and you're that, so we got to put you over there and you're this,
Hmm.
I don't know. And hopefully when you go to your new adventure,
Yeah.
that you will not find any of white privilege where you're going. I hope you do not.
Yeah, I hear it's going to be
The
very
bad white privilege, the bad white privilege, manifest a destiny, people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear I hear it's very politics there too.
Yes, dear.
Like, yay, bring it on. Let's
Bring it
go.
on. I know you're tough. You're awesome. As you see, I don't know if I don't know if people can see this, but you have behind you grind, push through the mundane tasks necessary to achieve your goal. Also, execute, put in the work, and let your results do the talking. Hustle, work hard with consistency and determination to earn the life you deserve. Yes, that's the best. They're all great, but hustle, earn the life you deserve. Everybody deserves an awesome freaking life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want it, right, it's out there. That's the beautiful thing that we live in a great time. And that's the thing. That's how I look at life. Like I don't look at it through, and I hear a lot of people from both sides, and it, like they're just like, "Oh, woe is me," and like, remember back in the day? I'm like, no, but what we all have now, what do we have now, and what can we do now? And do that, and because I don't want to go back to the past. I'm not living
I don't
there.
either.
Like
No,
it's
no, no. The only
all
thing
news.
actually is the present, right now, this moment. That's all there is, right? People could hear your words right now. I love me. If they could do that, if they could do that, if they can do that, they can
Yeah,
do anything, because you can't love
anything.
somebody if you don't love yourself. I don't care what, right? And you love you, and
It's
it
true.
looks like you love you. And now you're
Thank you.
leading the way for young women and men, or older women and men. You're leading the way by presenting yourself in the world in such a way of fearlessness.
Thank
And
you.
the more you stand up and the more other people like you stand up, the more the people that are terrified of life will go, she did it, maybe I can do it, right? And then you reach
Exactly.
out your hand and then you help them up, right? But no, listen, the world needs people like you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
It's yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy this. I'm really enjoying a conversation too.
My current thing, I'm in Northern California now. My whole
Yeah.
studio hidden far away, so I could just create. I'm trying to create an album. So then
Ooh, it's exciting.
I got, I've written 200. I just looked today. I've written 200 songs,
Wow.
and so I have to go through, and they're not all brilliant because that's just not how it works. But I have to go through and go, okay, I'm going to create the music because I have the words, or I have the words now. What music needs to go with those words? And so
Yeah.
I really do that because everybody says, you got to have a discography. You have to have a lot of music so people think you're, I don't know what. But again, I'm not here to be famous. I'm here to make a difference. So I'll just keep plugging out, putting it out there, and hoping that people will take the song and use it for their own protests, whatever,
Yeah.
their own
Yeah.
sense of self, whatever.
Yeah. I
I,
love that.
yeah.
I love that. What advice would you give to um somebody out there that's trying to get into the entertainment business or even just trying to create something?
Oh, I would say, like I think anybody would say, find a mentor if you can. Uh,
Hmm.
go to school if you can. I mean, Berkeley School of Music online is not that expensive, and the professors are excellent. And from my experience, and don't be afraid. If this is what you want to do it. Take a guitar. I mean, my middle name is Audacity. I wasn't that talented. I stood up on stage and I said things, and sang things. I wasn't the best there was, but I believed in myself. And I
Yeah.
have charisma. And I can say that because Maya Angelou said, charisma, is it her? Yeah, charisma is when before you walk on the stage, you have all your ancestors come around come around and you walk together on that stage with all your ancestors and all the people that got you there. And that's charisma. So you take the people that got you there and you stand with them, even though you may be the only person on stage. I worked with L.A. Cortez. She and I sang some songs, and Lynn Burke was the bassist. Anyway, you just do that. And I love people, and I love to perform live. Just
That's
right now, in this
amazing.
part of my life, I'm retreating and creating as creating and creator. And then from that, I'll go out into the world again if the world is be able to go out too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time and just sharing your journey, your your amazing journey at that. Like it's just and I love that it's that you are still creating, and I think that's just the best. Like I feel like who's we always hear people say, "Oh, I don't want to do that," or I'm getting older. I'm like, who cares? Like create,
Matters
and
not.
until
Matters
you're,
not. You're never
you
too
know,
old. I mean, that's a
you're
cliche, but you're never
never
too old, man. You
ever.
ever. I can't remember who the woman was, and I'm sorry, I can't. She won a Grammy. She was 91 years old 2 years ago, I think, in jazz or something. She was 91 years old, and I thought, yes, that gives me hope.
It's
Got 20 years.
amazing. Hey, let's go.
Right. Uh-huh.
I love it. Where can people find you on social media to follow everything you got
Okay,
going
well,
on?
Lynn Houston Music, LYNNHOUSTON Music. Uh, and that's on Instagram and Spotify and YouTube. And yeah, so I'm just sort of new at all this. So I'm learning my way. And I'm posting on Instagram. I go, did that work? Is that right? I'm embarrassed to say I don't know. But again, I'm not here for fame. I'm here for making the difference. But we'll see. So, check me out or write me anytime, Lynn Houston Music at gmail.com. That's how simple that is. I'd
Love
love
it.
to hear
Love
from
it.
anybody. Yeah.
Thank
Especially
you
you
so
on your
much.
journey. You keep in touch, okay, on your
I
journey.
will. I definitely will. We'll definitely connect and stay in touch for sure.
Okay.
And really quick before I close, I'd like to, do you have a quote that one of your favorite quotes that keep you going, or is just something that you can leave the people with, something, a nice little word, and then we'll close out.
Sure. Time is ticking. Life moves fast. Who knows if today might be your last? Is this the way you want it? Is this how it's going to be? You got to find the courage to create the dreams that you see.
On that note, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.